Well, we all knew that the first attempt on Donald Trump's life wouldn't be the last. And I don't believe that it's even the last we'll see between now and November 5th. Well, a man, after a manhunt took place, was just arrested, and we're going to talk about that, as well as some very interesting new details about the individual that everybody's already forgotten about. You know, Mr. Crooks. Everybody's already forgotten about him. Not me. I refuse to forget about him. And I hope if you also refuse to forget about him, you'll leave a like on the video right now as you watch it. Here's some interesting new details. First of all, we have this article. Exclusive. Representative Michael Waltz says he is not convinced that Matthew Crooks acted alone in the attempt on Donald Trump's life. This is also after a report in the New York Post where it says Matthew Crooks had encrypted messaging apps in Belgium, Germany, and New Zealand. That's all fine and dandy. Who was he talking to? Who was helping him? Who was he conversating with? I wouldn't say that that's normal, but what agencies was he talking to? What federal agencies was he perhaps talking to? I don't think that many people feel satisfied by this answer. Now, look, we'll look at this article, and maybe all this means is that he had a VPN and he would log into various locations. Or maybe these are the headquarters of the various apps he used. Thomas Matthew Crooks used encrypted messaging accounts on various platforms located in Belgium, New Zealand, and Germany, according to a member of the Congressional Task Force investigating the attempt on Donald Trump's life. Representative Michael Waltz is one of 13 lawmakers tapped to serve the House Bipartisan Task Force, told reporters Wednesday at a press conference at the Trump Hotel in Chicago that, quote, overseas accounts piqued his suspicion immediately in regard to their motives. Why does a 19-year-old kid who's in healthcare need encrypted platforms, not even based in the United States, but based abroad, where more Terry organizations know it's harder for our law enforcement to get into? I mean, this is kind of a boomer line of questioning. I mean, I use Signal, and that's an encrypted messaging app. Telegram's an encrypted messaging app. I used to use that. I wasn't up to no good with it. So I think that's kind of like, why was she wearing a short skirt? That's a question since day one, a Republican panel member said before pivoting to go after the Secret Service and the FBI for declining to release the full findings of their investigation into the July 13th event. Well, why isn't the FBI releasing it? Of course. Of course. They need to be releasing information as they come across it because this wasn't an isolated incident, which we're going to talk about in a minute. We know it isn't. The threats are continual, Waltz claimed, citing that an alleged sophisticated plot by a Pakistani national who paid off purported hitmen to go after Trump and other U.S. officials. The FBI is expected to brief the task force later on Wednesday, so yesterday, which the Florida Congressman retired Green Beret said he hoped would shed some light on the ridiculously flawed security footprint for the Trump campaign event in Pennsylvania. One of the other things, floating around is the red truck man. There was a red truck man present at the event that several witnesses were reported talking about.
Towards me first, I was the first one in this area, saying, "You got to get out of here, got to get out of here." And then after he left me, he worked his way up the fence to, I think, those two guys next to the guy in yellow.
He got out of the car? So somebody else was driving?
No, his driver's door was open. Leaves, no truck. It's a private property.
Okay.
No one's allowed to be here.
Now, what they're talking about is a man in a red truck who worked for AGR. Local sleuths located the man and are accusing him of clearing the path for Thomas.
Excuse me, sir. Do you drive a red truck? Yes, I do. You're the red truck guy? Is that an AGR hat on your head? You're the red truck guy. I found him. Clearing the line of fire, were you? Yeah, you were. Got a good picture of him there for the internet.
Not really. He's pretty shaky.
Excuse me, sir.
Now, this guy apparently was going up and down and telling people to get off the lawn around the AGR building. Now, normally, look, you guys know that normally I'm not a big, like, you know, conspiracy theory guy, you know, this, that, and the other thing. But, you know, in the lack of information from the federal government or from people actually investigating it, you know, people are going to ask questions and people want to know, who is this red truck guy? To me, Occam's razor, the most likely answer is he literally does work for AGR, and he was just on some weird power trip, you know, telling people to get out of there, right? To clear off the lawn and get off his company's property. Some people believe perhaps there's more to it. People had referred to this red truck man in several videos of him trying to clear people out of the AGR building, of the area. Here's his red truck. Someone followed our lead and snuck in the parking lot. Our cars, you know, shocking message before. So here's the guy with the red truck. Is it possible that this guy was, you know, involved? Sure, anything's possible at this point. We don't have any information, you know, to the contrary. But I would caution people, you know, he does act pretty weird. I will say he does act pretty weird. If somebody said that to me, like, hey, you know, aren't you the guy where you clearing the path for the shooter or something like that? I would be like, are you kidding me? No, absolutely not. But instead, he just kind of like mumbles and turns his back. So that's not the type of response that I would probably have. But again, it doesn't prove anything. It's just, you know, there's a lot of, you know, the red truck guy, what's going on with him. Also, Republican Representative Mike Waltz said that his motivation is still unknown and that he's worried that a foreign entity or other third party could have been involved in the attack. Waltz queried how federal law enforcement can confidently say that Crooks was a lone wolf if they cannot or will not answer any other questions like how he had or why he had multiple foreign encrypted messaging accounts. His comments came after it was revealed that Iran was also plotting an attempt on the former president's life. There's more to it. There's a lot going on. Yeah, I mean, I would say, you know, Crooks was able to create multiple different devices, detonators. Maybe he was using these various accounts just to, you know, I don't know. People who are paranoid or people just want a lot of security. They use Signal, they use Telegram. They want to use it to, you know, we know probably why he created it is so he could figure out how to build things that go boom and not get traced. Somebody showed him how to make those devices. You know? The other thing is, if you go back, I do want to mention, I think a fair point about Red Truck Guy. He could be like shell shocked. I mean, he's basically getting ran up on by a crazy person in public. So, you know, I hope people, you know, look, if he's involved or whatever, that's one thing. But he could be acting totally, you know, just shocked and like worried. And who is this guy? And why does he know what kind of car I drive? And why does he have a camera in my face? These are all like normal stuff, you know. Interestingly enough, there's been a new arrest. A U.S. man who wanted to remove Trump from the planet caught after manhunt. This is breaking news. Police have captured an Arizona man who wanted to remove Donald Trump from the planet after a manhunt that unfolded as the former president was visiting the border state. Police say Ronald Lee Syverud of Cochise County made threats against Trump in social media posts over the last 2 weeks. He was in Cochise County on Thursday visiting the U.S. frontier with Mexico. Last month, Trump was grazed by a bullet, obviously. The Cochise County Sheriff's Office also said that he was wanting to fail to register as a diddler. Why do diddlers hate him? Oh, could it have something to do? Didn't Trump just propose a policy for the diddlers? Didn't he just propose capital punishment for diddlers? Am I not remembering that right? Maybe I'm not remembering that right. But even if I am remembering it right, interesting. And if I'm not remembering it right, I think I'm going to vote for the guy who the diddlers don't like. You know, the subject has been taken into custody without incident. I don't know what exactly, the posts were. We'll probably find out. A lot of people say a lot of unhinged things on the internet. You see, we appreciate all the information, incredible collaborative efforts with the public safety partners. His last known address was in Benson, Arizona. He was wanted on outstanding warrants from Wisconsin for DUI failure to appear, as well as Graham County, Arizona, for failing to register as a creepazoid. Trump still visited the border as planned because, of course, the amount of threats on Trump's life are going up. It seems practically exponentially at this point. It's something that we need to watch. It's something we need to be, cognizant of. And it's interesting to me. It's while a lot of the media has decided they want to move on from the story of what happened to Donald Trump on July 18th, I don't. There's obviously, in my opinion, a cover-up going on. In my opinion, there's a minimum of a lot of cover your own rear end going on. And if they want me to believe that there's nothing like that going on, if they want me to believe that there is no cover-up going on, then maybe release the information and stop trying to, cover your own rear ends. I hope that Trump stays safe. I truly do. And I do worry for him because there are a lot of unhinged lunatics out there. Stuff that Kamala Harris just doesn't have to worry about on the campaign trail. The media doesn't seem to care, and our law enforcement doesn't seem to care anymore either, though. It's a sad state.